I choose to draw bodies that are big, strong, fluid, ambiguous, and take up space. I'm Hayley Wall, and I'm an illustrator from the Midlands, based in southeast London. From childhood all the way into adulthood, drawing has helped me to regulate my emotions, and as a young, undiagnosed autistic kid, drawing offered me an escape from a world that I found really overwhelming. My work up until this point has mostly existed in print publications such as the New York Times, Sick Magazine, Them, and the New Yorker. Being able to translate a 2D illustration into an interactive AR experience means that I can weave narrative into my work in a way that I wouldn't be able to typically do. Through Adobe Aero, I can build new worlds where each body gets its own moment, feeling, and time, space, and memory. My practice is a response to the body I exist in and a tool that I use for exploring my emotions. I address and reframe perspectives on disability, queerness, mental health, and gender. My work has always carried a feeling of movement, even though it is still, and Adobe Aero has sort of allowed me to expand on that movement even more. I'd always had this idea that you needed to know how to code or that I'm not going to be able to do it. But actually, because I know Adobe Photoshop already, it was almost as though I just knew how to use it. It felt really accessible because there was no coding at all. It's interesting because you get really immersed in it, even though you're maybe looking through an iPad or your phone. There were points where I would turn and then turn back around and expect it to be there, but it's not anymore. I've been walking around places recently and thinking differently about them, or thinking about how I could create something that responds to that space. I wanted the viewer to be able to move through the body. If they watch it again, they might explore it in a different way. They might walk around it whilst it's moving. They might walk through it this time. The piece is about my experience of coming back home to myself. It's about witnessing and trusting in myself. Like witnessing and trusting that when the sun sets, it will rise again. And it's a visual interpretation of Bell Hooks' concept of practicing love as a verb. What excites me going forward is creating immersive worlds where my bodies can take up space beyond the page.